Hey everybody, Lead Speed here. Alright, so I'm bringing in another Dueling Network video thingy, of course, but it's gonna be kind of a little bit different as far as like the topic, because like you're looking at the title of the deck and what I'm playing against in my hand and you're thinking, what the heck is going on? I mean, yeah, I would be surprised if you didn't ask any variant of such a question like that. But yeah, it kind of relates to something you never knew that I played, and I never uploaded a video with that deck, like well not with this deck obviously, but with the deck that I made prior to Gusto or whatever. But I guess I could go into that really quick. Now the deck was kind of a very weird plant synchro kind of thing that I put together randomly. I just kind of put it together on my own or whatever, and it seemed kind of random at the time. But I mean, I'll explain like what the deck basically did and whatever. But it was built around Quackimero Gravirose. Now you guys know about the Quackimero monsters and their whole maintenance cost thing, and you know how you had to discard an iron core or reveal a type of monster in your hand. But anyways, I guess I'll talk about Quackimero Gravirose first. She is a plant, level 4, fire, 1900 attack, 1300 defense. So pretty nice attack, very high, of course. During each of your end phases, destroy this card unless you send one Iron Core Quackimero from your hand to the graveyard or reveal one plant type monster in you hand. Now, that was actually a typo in the card where it said in you hand or whatever. It was supposed to say your hand, but it says you hand. So yay for typos. Anyways, during each of your standby phases, you can send one level 3 or lower monster from your deck to the graveyard. So basically, she was kind of like a Foolish Burial on each of your standby phases. A Foolish Burial for any of your level 3 or lower monsters that you may be running in the deck. Now, for a deck like plants, you know, you have like Dandylion, you have like Spore, Glow Bulb, you know, back when Glow Bulb wasn't banned, but you had like the plant engine, and plus this was like it was kind of weird. Like long before this weird plant synchro thingy Bobber I put together. Now this isn't like the plant synchro decks piloted by like Billy Break and any of those guys. It was kind of weird. I mean, it was more plant themed. Like I wanted to use more plants to kind of have a more plant themed deck. Now it only could do so much, and it was kind of awkward for me to try to make a deck around, especially when you look at archetype. When you look at this nowadays, there's not much support, but there is technically new support in Judgment of the Light, and I guess it just relates to this deck I'm playing. So yeah, like with Quackimero Gravirose, I may send cards like Dandylion to the graveyard to get 2 fluff tokens, or I send a Treeborn Frog, and when Treeborn Frog's in the graveyard during the standby phase, and if you have no spells or traps, you can bring it back. And since it's during the standby phase, you can activate Treeborn Frog's effect during the same standby phase and bring them right back. So if you wanted to go for like, Formula Synchron play, you could totally do that with like Glow Bulb or Spore. Or you could use Junk Synchron to tune the Treeborn Frog and the Gravirose along with itself to make like a level 8 synchro. You can make like Junk Destroyer, you can make Stardust, you can make Scrap Dragon. Heck, you can make Crimson Blader now that it's really, really good right now. But yeah, it was just kind of a very weird deck. And then I ran Titania as like a tech card. I ran Fallen Angel of Roses, Nettles, Quillbolt Hedgehog. Now, Quillbolt Hedgehog was actually kind of cool because you can mill it to the graveyard, and then when you had like Junk Synchron or any other tuner, you can summon Quillbolt right from the graveyard because you just milled it right out from your deck. So you kind of thin out your deck a little bit while setting up your graveyard for potential graveyard plant plays. So it was kind of a very weird deck, and it definitely doesn't sound like a deck that's meta or whatever. And honestly, this isn't either. I mean, I literally made this by myself. Like, I had no real reference points. I mean, I just went to plant support like I did with the older deck, and then, you know, I just put a deck together. And, you know, what I wanted to try to do is mainly like, I don't know, it's kind of something I've never done before, but you know, it was kind of like a thing where you have like a deck in progress, and then you ask your subscribers, like, or some of your subscribers and friends to help you improve the deck or whatever. And it's almost like fixing the deck together. You know, we all put in ideas for cards we can run in this and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know, I mean, maybe it's gonna be a flip-flop and failure, but it's worth a try because it's, I don't know, it's kind of something I really felt in my gut. It's like part of me is just saying I need to do this, and it was kind of based on somewhat nostalgia values, especially when I try to play pure plants or something like that. But yeah, the deck was, this deck right here in front of you, this was mainly built around Thalia, Princess of the Cherry Blossoms. Now, for those who don't know about this card, she is in Judgment of the Light, and I believe this is pretty much like the latest plant support, which is kind of crazy, I know, but that's just how it goes. So she is a water plant, level 8, 2800 attack, 1200 defense. So pretty much like her counterpart in Titania, Princess of Camellias. In fact, they're pretty much based on the same type of flower things or whatever. So this card gains 100 attack for each plant type monster you control. All other face-up plant type monsters on the field cannot be destroyed by card effects. Now, the 100 boost also applies to herself, like she'll count herself for the 100 attack bonus. So when you summon her to the field by herself with no other plants out, she'll instantly become 2900, which is actually pretty good. And all other plant type monsters on the field cannot be destroyed by card effects. Now, this is probably why I say it's such a weird deck. Like, the premise of this deck is to get out 2 Thalia, Princess of Cherry Blossoms onto the field. Now you're thinking, wait, why do you want to get, I mean, getting out 2 is lovely, but why do you want to try to get 2 out at the same time? Well, the thing is, her effect that protects all other face-up plant type monsters on the field from card effects, this actually applies if you have a second copy. If you have a second copy on the field, it will basically create, like, it's not like a lock per se, but it's pretty much like you can't destroy any of the plants on the field with card effects. If you have one protects the other, and then both protect your other plants. So if you have like Giga Plant or Fallen Angel of Roses, you can't destroy any of them with card effects when you have 2 Thalia out. So as weird as this deck is, it's kind of for fun really, but this is just something I just wanted to do. I mean, it just seems weird, and honestly, I just feel like, you know, I'm so bored with the meta right now that I'm willing to try shit like this. So yeah, I mean, I'll go to the, like, I'll have a deck listing at the very end of this video, so stay tuned for that, and you know, I'll quickly go over the cards or whatever, and basically what I want to do with the deck, and maybe what we can do to improve it and stuff like that, you know, just for the hell of it. So see you guys after that, or see you guys for that, I mean. Alright, so coming at you with the rough build I have right now. As I said in the narration, I would show you guys. Yeah, it looks kind of weird, doesn't it? Bit odd, but that's just how it is, man. But anyways, I'll quickly go over the deck and then, you know, explain a couple of things, but not everything, because, you know, I want to kind of make this short. So we have two Thalia, Princess of the Cherry Blossoms. And yes, I realize her real name is different, but again, that's just name changes happening all the damn time. One copy of one Fallen Angel of Roses, 1 Giga Plant, 2 copies of Lord Poison, 3 copies of Blue Rose Dragon, 3 copies of Violet Witch, 2 Card Troopers, 1 Botanical Girl, 1 Lonefire Blossom, 1 Dandylion, 1 Spore, 2 copies of the Debris Dragon, 2 copies of Thunder King Ryo. For the spells, we have 2 copies of Mark of the Rose, 2 copies of Miracle Fertilizer, 1 Heavy Storm, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, Pot of Avarice, Mind Control, 2 Forbidden Lances. For the traps, we have triple Call of the Haunted, the Solemn Duo, 2 Torrential Tributes, and then 1 Mirror Force. Extra deck has Black Rose Dragon, Queen of Thorns, Splendid Rose, Armory Arm, Catastor, TG Hyper Librarian, Ancient Fairy Dragon, the other Ancient Fairy Dragon, not the light attributed version that you guys are probably familiar with. 1 Flashing Carrot Dragon Stardust, Red Dragon Archfiend, Wind of Zenmane. Well, for the Xyz we have Wind of Zenmanes, 1 Lavalval Chain, 1 Digusto Emerald, 1 Maestro Simnijin, and 1 Gemini Pearl. So, as I mentioned before in the video, like what I want to try to do is, well, get out two Thalias and then proceed to go from there, because her effect that protects all other plant type monsters on the field being destroyed by card effects, this will apply even when you have 2 copies of herself. And when you have 2 copies of herself, they're both safe. Basically, one protects the other, and then all your other plants are immune to being destroyed by card effects too. So I guess that's kind of the point. And plus they get 100 attack for every plant monster you have, so essentially they get stronger for each plant you've got out. One Fallen Angel Roses mainly because I am running plants in this deck, and you know, I can bounce any of them to my hand and summon this from my hand, and she's a level 7, so I can tune it up with Spore to make a level 8, and that's why I only run 2, because I don't see myself going into them that much yet. Depending on like what changes I make to this deck, that might change. Gigaplant, very good card, just being able to like Gemini summon him and then just get any plant or insect that you want, but you're mainly going to be spamming him with like your Thalia, or bring back Lonefire to bring out said Thalia. So pretty good. Lord Poison, it's pretty self-explanatory, and he's searchable with Violet Witch and Botanical Girl, and you can summon him out with Lonefire, so pretty good card. Blue Rose pretty much works the same way as Lord Poison. You get to bring back a Black Rose Dragon also, so that's a nice bonus with this card, although you can't search for this card in this deck, at least to my knowledge, unless you run like Gold Sark, which who's got time for that? But anyways, Violet Witch, basic searching, gets any of your plants with 1500 or less defense. Card Troopers for milling and potential drawing, and Call the Haunted plays. Botanical Girl for more searching. Lonefire for special summoning, that effect's so good. Dandylion because, you know, Plant Engine is awesome. And Debris Dragon because you got a few targets for Debris Dragon, and you can go for instant Black Rose Dragon plays. Plus, you have the benefit of using her other effect as well, just being able to put an opponent's monster to face-up attack position, well, if they're in defense mode, and then make its attack 0. So you have that option now, if you're running plants, of course. 2 Thunder King Riles just for decent Stellum beaters, and that's kind of what I wanted to go for. And plus, it just stuns stuff, so that's what he does. The Market of Rose mainly kind of like using like brain control in a way. This is pretty much like your Monster Reborn. Well, it's like you running another Monster Reborn. You're mainly going to be getting this back because, you know, or get back Lonefire so that you can get this out. So you can kind of see like a lot of the cards I'm running, it's mainly to facilitate her use, and that's just how I do it. Then, I mean, I think the rest is pretty much self-explanatory. So Queen of Thorns. Now, I am running plants, so I can make this. Now, I'm only running 1 just because I don't think I'd go into her as frequently. Same with Splendid Rose. But they're pretty decent. But, you know, they're just cards I wanted to try out. And then, you know, the rest is pretty much self-explanatory. Now, I guess the Xyz I'll explain, like Lavalval Chain. He's mainly used to, like, send stuff to the grave like Dandylion, or stack something like Blue Rose Dragon or Lonefire. So there's just like a few things you can do with this card, and it's actually really good. Digusto Emerald, just recycling and drawing. Maestro and Pearl, they're just good generic rank 4. So this is what I got right now, and it's just very rough. So yeah, let's see what we could do with this. Leave suggestions, and you know, I'll leave suggestions too and stuff like that. But yeah, until next time, this is Leech Beat signing out. Peace.